Morning, Colin. This is a video on the Balfour Beatty contract. So, as you know, most local authorities probably use a contractor these days. In the good old days or otherwise, they used to have their own direct labour force and did things with their council departments. And then probably from the mid-90s onwards, I would say more and more people started, more local authorities started to use companies like Amy or Balfour or Jarvis, etc., etc. If you remember, we split from Hereford and Worcester in about 1998, I think it was. And for a couple of years, we did have a direct labour force still. And then Jarvis got the contract in, I don't know what time it was, early 2000s. I think it might have been Liberals or Independents in charge at the time, or a combination. And then, since then, we've had a variety of different contractors. Jarvis left, and then we got Amy, and then Amy left, and then we got Balfour Beatty in 2013. Now, when we came as administration, we realised that the Balfour Beatty contract hadn't been reviewed for value for money since basically they got the contract in 2013. So the Cabinet Member for Contracts and Assets, Gemma Davis, and myself, with Cabinet responsibility for infrastructure and transport, of which the public realm and the roads, etc., were part of my remit. We thought we should have a review of this, as well as our finance cabinet member, and Gemma asked for a review to happen, and that happened. PricewaterhouseCoopers came in, and South West Audit Partnership looked at the contract as well, and did some work over the period of last year, and basically came back and said, the contract's okay, Balfour Beatty's are okay. They're a professional civils company who are trying to make money and want to be a good provider of services. But Herefordshire Council is not managing the contract particularly well. And I think one of the reasons for that is big companies like Balfour's or Amy can either do quite specific things, just do the drainage, just do potholes, cutting the lawns, cutting our public spaces, or they can do more and more outside of the contract in a sense, but through the contract. So they can start doing more capital works and rebuilding roads or doing tarmacking. Now, in some authorities, they have much more of a technical staff still on the council side. So, for example, Telford and Wrekin have many more people still employed directly by the authority. And those people are probably in contract management, and they're technical officers, so they've got experience about bridges or drainage or roads, etc. So what they tend to do is they use a big company like Balfour's to do the main public realm yearly revenue stuff. And then when they want to re-tarmac or do some capital works on drainage or anything else, they tend to go to an open tender for that. So their procurement processes to the open market. What we had in the public realm contract that we have with Balfour Beatty was a mechanism where we could use Balfour Beatty and didn't have to go to open tender if we thought it was a good justification for doing so. So we wanted to do things quickly, or we thought it was easier. And what's happened, I think, over the last few years is that we've tended to give Balfour's work automatically because, they're going to take the risk and they're already set up to do the contracting, etc., etc. And as a result, we've lost our ability. We haven't really got the technical staff or the contract staff on our side in the same way that can produce these tender documents when we need to do capital works. So I think one of the things that's come out of the review is we're looking at how we procure capital works in future. And obviously the difference between capital and revenue is the money you've got to do everything on a yearly basis that you've got to do the maintenance, cleaning ditches or trying to clean ditches. And the capital is actually building stuff or improving stuff to a significant degree that you can capitalise it. Things like drainage, actually, while I'm on that subject, in 2013 when Balfour's got the contract off Amy, the first thing, this was the Conservative administration, but it's not really their fault. There was the money from central government, as I said, has just been cut. It's gone down from 62 million in one particular grant, which is the revenue support grant, from 62 million in 2010 to 600,000 this year. So that's, 60 million wiped out. But in 2013, when Balfour got the contract and Amy didn't get the extension, and then we started a dispute with Amy over that, which we finally settled in this administration. But when they got the contract, the first thing they were asked to do was reduce the public realm revenue budget down from 9 million to 6 million. And the very first thing that happened was drainage suffered, because it was considered that we needed to just try and rush around maintaining potholes and cutting grass, and there wasn't much money left to do anything else. And we think that's as an administration, we think that's a failure, because drainage is so important. It's the thing that causes so many issues on the roads. We know how many drains are still, in our opinion, blocked. Every parish council knows one that's not working properly. We're trying to put more money back into drainage. We're trying to give local councils more money to do the work themselves as well. So we're in a situation now where we're reviewing the contract, seeing how we can make it work better for both us and Balfour Beatty, and that work will be coming to a conclusion quite quickly. Cheers, Colin.